And some people may ask the question, well, why? Why, if you feel like you are more intelligent than someone, why do you need to check yourself and say that that's problematic thinking when you say you don't want to answer to somebody that you feel like you're more intelligent than? Somebody who's level minded may legitimately ask a question like that and say, well, why do you need to check to yourself? I agree that the boss should be the most intelligent person in the room. The mastermind should be the most intelligent person in the room, the one whose thinking is superior to everybody else's. And I'm not saying that you are totally incorrect in that train of thought because I'm the one who put it out there. So obviously, that's a train of thought of mine as well. But my response to that is, why do I need to check myself? Why do I have to constantly tell my ego to quiet down and tame, the arrogance within me? Well, in life, I've had tremendously humbling experiences, tremendously. In my former years as a young person, it wasn't the life that I've led. No one would expect for the train of situations that have occurred to happen. I was spoiled as a baby, even though my parents got divorced at a young age. I was spoiled, and I was the baby girl, and pretty much everybody had to do for me. And we grew up around affluence, even though we weren't wealthy. We grew up around affluence, and you can tell by my brothers in their level of success. They kind of followed the course of life that was prepared for them early on. They're very monetarily successful. So a lot of people may say, well, what happened? What made you not monetarily successful? I think that if life hadn't humbled me, I could very much be the arrogant asshole that still resides within me, that I have to constantly tell to quiet, tell to um, learn from the journey that I've had to endure. Learn from the downfalls. Learn from all of the L's that you've taken in life, right? Because if you don't learn from those L's are going to resurface. And you want to evolve. You don't want to have to keep going through the same life lessons. So you consider that a blessing because you could have remained in stagnation. You could remain um, a know it all and never be open to new lessons, new ideas, new ways of life, new belief systems. So I revisit the original question, why? Why do you have to check yourself for having that mentality that the one who has a superior mind should be calling the shots? I have to check myself because the way that I see people, the way that I see life is there's success in various categories. There's monetary success because we live in a capitalistic society. We put the most value on monetary success, right? Collectively, we give monetary success the most power. So people automatically assume, well, once you have monetary success, then you're, exempt from any other category of, of success. But you can have monetary success and be very spiritually unsuccessful. And the way that I see life is you want to win in the most categories as possible as far as success. And there's various categories. So, yes, perhaps I may be intellectually superior in one category, but I could be totally intellectually depleted in another. So, me blanketing a person and assuming that that person has nothing of value to teach me, that person that may be the worker bee, that I may say, be silent because you're just a worker bee, that person may have the answer to save my life. Who knows? You don't know. You can't judge a book by its cover. And so, if we are students of life, if we are looking at life from that point of view, where everything is a learning experience, and we are that committed to our being the best versions of ourselves, right? There's a certain element of humility that you have to take with that disposition. If life is the professor and you are a student of life, you thinking that you know everything, that you've mastered everything, is going to block you from becoming even wiser, becoming even smarter, becoming even richer, becoming even happier, becoming even more lovable, or with more love to give, right? Because you could be monetarily successful, but you could be horrible at love, have a failed relationship, don't know how to make someone happy, don't know how to feed someone's heart, you know? So there's so many different categories of success in life and to feel overall fulfilled. And if you take the disposition of being a student of life, then you're going to have a certain element of humility. And that's the reason why people say your ego is not your friend, because your ego is actually blocking you from learning. When you think you know it all, you don't think that you can learn from anybody. And when we have these superlatives of who's valuable and who's not, well, can the homeless guy who's an alcoholic tell you not to drink? Most people will be like, shut up, bum. But he's like, look, I lost everything from this drinking problem. I'm telling you, don't do it. Look at my life, right? So everything, when you are fully committed to being a student of life, everything and everyone has value. And that's really, to me, the ultimate reflection of a high self-esteem when you incorporate a certain level of humility, because you are very committed to your excellence and your greatness. That's true high self-esteem. Arrogance and being a know-it-all is kind of like not really high self-esteem, because you're blocking your greatness. You're blocking by saying, I know everything. You're blocking you becoming wiser, smarter, richer, happier, more loved. You're blocking that. So the humble person actually really has high self-esteem, because they're like, I want to be excellent. I want to be great. I want to be masterful in all categories of life. And I want to be a sponge, understanding that anyone and anybody can teach me, because my ultimate commitment is to being the best version of myself. And so that's why I say, yes, I recognize that an ego is there. I recognize that there are traits of arrogance there. And I get it honestly. I have a kind of an arrogant family. But I have to constantly check her. Constantly check her. Constantly pray for that to go away. And I understand that even people that, you know, I've had a lot of people who, in my opinion, kind of want to like see me like put down, like they want to like there's something about me that like really irritates them to the point where they don't want to uplift me. They want to see me lose. And I'm like, monetarily, like I'm not like a rich woman. I'm not like wealthy. Like, yes, I'm very spiritually wealthy. I'm very wealthy in ideas. I'm a walking gold mine. I'm a diamond in the rough. You know, I'm a seed waiting to blossom. That's how rich I am, as far as all of the things that I have to give to the world, and all of the flowers that are going to blossom with the seeds that I plant. But currently, monetarily, fiscally, I'm not wealthy. So the idea of you wanting to take from me, it's like I must radiate wealth. I must radiate abundance, because for people to think that they, you know, that they can take from me is like, you must be radiating abundance, you know, you must be really, really radiating something. But I think also part of it is this sense that of arrogance, and their arrogance attacks my arrogance. The issue is, well, how does this person have like, I don't want her to have confidence, because her belief in herself directly conflicts with my belief in myself. So really, it's the ego that they're fighting. And for me, I say, hey, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been here. I'm not going anywhere. Maybe you should tame your ego. Like, it shouldn't bother you so much that somebody who doesn't think like you, look like you, have the same belief system as you, it shouldn't bother you that much that person exists. if you're truly confident in the things that you believe in. And so I know that a part of what rubs people the wrong way about me is that ego, is that arrogance. But really, to me, I have it in check. I pray every day. To me, it's not arrogance, it's self confidence at this point. There's an ego that lurks in there, an arrogance that lurks in there, but I pray so much to have it in check. And I have to constantly remind myself of all the humbling experiences that I've been through in life. It's not. It's misinterpreted as arrogance. Really, it's just self confidence. And often people shun what they lack. So they got an issue with confidence, with your confidence that you exude because they have none. But you also have to understand, and this is where self-love and self-esteem comes in, is that that's not your issue to resolve. Like, you have to be very clear about what your issues are to resolve in your life and what other people's issues are to resolve in their own life. And you can't be mad at people if they don't want to do the work to resolve their issues in their life. We all got work to do on this journey called life. And that's the reason why I got love for people, but I can't focus on people so much because I got a lot of work to do for myself. I got to use this mind to figure out what my next move is, how I'm going to propel myself to the position in life that I feel I'm deserving of. The love that I have inside, how that's going to manifest itself. Like, there's a lot of work to do on this journey. I don't have the time to be solving other people's issues. Now, if you observe me in a fashion that's not violating of my privacy, and you can learn from me to some degree, then more power to you. Then now you're a student of life. Now you're taking the front seat. You're taking the driver's seat of your life. Now you're a student of life. But as far as your issues, that's not my problem to resolve. Your self-esteem, that's not my self-esteem. Your lack of confidence or that's not mine. Your relationship issue, that's not mine. All of those things, those aren't my issues. So people have to learn how to deal with their own issues. That's maturity. If you are so bothered by someone else's confidence, that's on you. That's for you to do some soul searching and try to figure out, well, why do they bother me so much? Why do they bother me to the degree that I want to see them put down, that I want to see them die, that I want to, like, really horrible things? That's internal work that you got to do. That is not how I'm going to spend my time analyzing you and picking you apart and figuring you out. I got too much work to do on myself.